Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? This is 2 by NegativeAE, and welcome back to Higurashi When They Cry. Last we left off, we were just popping bubbles, or I guess popping rectangles, and seeing if they go. I'm gonna go with this one. This piece can't be connected yet. Good to know. Thank you, game. We got the entire third screen wrapped up, and nothing on the fourth screen can be clicked. So it's got to be one of these. Can this piece cannot be connected yet. It's very specific. I don't think any of these are going to be able to be connected, but we'll crack them all. What do we got? A red capsule is required, or strawberry milk candy is required. Or none of them crack. Oh, here we go. Hello. Oh yes, good afternoon. Who are you? Sorry. We just moved in next door. We're here to introduce ourselves. Pleased to meet you. Oh my, oh my. Someone as young as you moved here. I see, welcome. Mom, our new neighbor is here to say hello. Don't yell like that. Thank you for taking the time to come over. They are the Ryugu family. They just moved into the empty house next door. Ah, you're Reina-chan, aren't you? Boy, you've grown. Yes, I'm Reina. Thank you for remembering. Mom, how do you know her? Or do you know her? Oh, yes, of course I do. You were living in Okinomiya then, so you probably don't remember. But they used to live next door. You came back, huh? This village is better than the big city, huh? I don't remember much because I was small when we lived here. But I feel this is where I belong. Then you'll fit right in. If there's anything we can do for you, let us know. There's no need to hesitate since being unreserved is the rule here. Ah, yes. Thank you very much. Thought I would remember things if I walked around the village, but I don't remember anything. But I still remember the vivid air and breeze as well as the brilliant greenery. I don't remember the village, but I remember that this is my hometown. Red scars still remain on my body. They're hardly visible and I can't even feel them. I'm sure they'll disappear soon. Now that I'm back in Inamizawa, sometimes I wonder who I was back in Ibaraki. In fact, I think I wasn't myself from the moment I left Inamizawa. And now, by coming back here, I've finally regained my true self. I can hardly remember what I was like back in Ibaraki. Probably because of the red medicine. The medicine erased all of my painful memories. Maybe that was for the best. I just wanted to be forgiven back then. I couldn't forgive my mother. I couldn't forgive Uncle Akito. And more than anybody, I couldn't forgive myself. I wanted to acknowledge that I wasn't at fault. I wanted someone to. I wanted to be forgiven. Then Shiro-sama apologized. She told me that it wasn't my fault because it was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. That's how I was able to forgive myself. I didn't have to die by ripping out my blood vessels out of my body. I think people die because they become dirty. That's why people try their hardest not to dirty themselves during their lives. I'm still living despite my dirty body. I'm allowed to live. Is there still some filth left on me? Or am I all clean? I don't know. The only thing I know is that the me who lived in Ibaraki and the me who's here right now are two different people. I no longer feel the responsibility of ripping myself apart because of the filth. After arranging some furniture and unpacking some of the boxes, we finally have dinner. Although I hardly remember Hinamizawa, my father remembers things very clearly. Although it was around when we lived here before, the Watanagashi festival has become a huge festival nowadays. It's held at the end of June. Watanagashi? Never been to it myself, so I don't know too much about it, but supposedly people let cotton absorb the filth on their bodies and drift it down the stream. Wash down the filth. You can wash down the filth, huh? Of course. Humans are sinners. As we live every day, filth piles up on our bodies, supposedly. And once a year, we get rid of the filth by letting the cotton absorb it. People are burdened with filth and sins by doing something bad. Court sentences can settle your crimes legally, but that doesn't mean the burden of sin and filth will go away. In other words, human hands can't get rid of the human filth in this world. The filth is something humans can't get rid of, and that's why we need a god from a different world to get rid of it. That's what I thought. But I'm surprised with Watanagashi. Humans getting rid of human filth in this human world. Letting cotton absorb the filth and drifting it down the stream. That means it's okay to live in this world. I tried to kill myself because I couldn't forgive myself. Oyashiro-sama apologized to me and told me to come back to Hinamizawa. Now there's this Watanagashi, a ceremony to get rid of the filth here in Hinamizawa. This isn't just a coincidence. Hinamizawa is a place to get rid of filth. It forgives sins. It is a place of forgiveness, called a purification ceremony. Heard those words before. Japanese culture is very strict about filth. You aren't allowed to remain in the spotlight if you leave behind filth. See, that's the reason why politicians and company presidents resign immediately once people find out about their dirty deeds. You must leave the spotlight if you're filthy. To put it in a bad way, the filth is basically pushed on to someone else and they're held responsible for it. Sins and filth must be removed. That's why some people push sins and filth onto someone else and try to get rid of this filth by sacrificing that person. But if that's the case, every time that filth is created, the people will try to pass around the responsibility. It is awfully hideous. It's almost like seeing demons in this human world. That's why they came up with the idea of letting the cotton take all the filth. Doing so, people can live without making someone take all the responsibility, sins, and filth. Putting everyone's sins onto someone and then killing that person makes that person a sacrifice. Who wants to be a sacrifice? That's why they desperately push their sins around. A purification ceremony is about replacing the human sacrifice by a non-human one. The purification ceremony dramatically changed Japanese culture. People always believe that someone must become a sacrifice and be killed. That means even if you get filthy, everyone can live without blaming someone else. Filth can be forgiven by a method other than death. Only an existence higher than humans can forgive humans. I was forgiven by Oyashiro-sama and came back to this place. The Watanagashi, purification ceremony that exists in this place. Letting the cotton absorb the filth and drifting it away. There's no need for a sacrifice. That's why I'm allowed to live. The filthy me is down in the stream, so the me here is no longer Ryugu Reina. If I'm not Reina, then who am I? If I'm without the filth and all the icky things, who am I? It comes up vaguely. A new name only removed one of the characters from it, but I think it's a cute name. The icky things forgiven and removal with that one letter. We've talked about this, Reina. We've talked about this. This chapter is like a rehashing of everything. Because we're trying to fix the timeline, right? So like the only way that we can do that is by looking at all the correct timelines. And then is this new music? I feel like this is entirely new music. It's because that music was not happening before. I'm just making sure none of the things came up as things. Does that mean we're like 75% done? Because it feels like we're pretty close. Oh, does that mean we can do one of these? This one hasn't been done yet. I just want to crack it. Oh, it's not cracked. We can do it. Mion-san, your best friend is here. I hear the housekeeper's voice. Our house and the front yard are huge, so unlike normal houses, ringing a doorbell or yelling my name repeatedly asking to play won't work. Okay, thank you. Who is it? Furude Rika-chama. Oh, finally. Can you tell Grandma that Rika-chama is here? I think she's on the porch. I'll bring the watermelon. Grandma received so many beautiful watermelons from somebody, so she wanted to share. I just called the Furude family a short time ago, and Rika-chan is here to pick it up. Did she come on her bicycle? Can't remember if she has a big enough basket on her bicycle. I pull the watermelon from the well during my reverie. The cold water in the well has refrigerated the watermelon, and the condensation makes it look delicious. The 3 members of the Furude family will enjoy it for at least 2 nights. Makes me want watermelon really bad. Me? Am I supposed to take it home? I thought... What? Didn't your dad tell you? The priest answered the phone, and I thought I told him to come pick it up. Maybe it wasn't clear enough, or maybe he misunderstood me completely. But she's here to eat watermelon, not to take it home. Besides, a small basket on Rika-chan's bicycle won't hold the watermelon. And it's too dangerous for her to ride it while holding the watermelon. Why don't you help Rika-chama take the watermelon? There's no way she can ride her bicycle with the watermelon in her hand. Me. I can hold the watermelon. No, that's too dangerous. If something happened to you, I wouldn't know what to say to Oishiro-sama. Mion will help you. Okay, I will. I'll go say hello to the priest, too. No matter whether she rides or pushes the bicycle, Rika-chan's hands are occupied. So I'm going to carry the watermelon. The sky is turning auburn from the sunset. I feel a cool breeze and it feels good on my sandaled feet. The plastic bag I'm carrying contains the watermelon, and also some small bags of rock candy. If her mother finds them, then she'll take them away, so we decided to eat them before we get to her home. We open the bags and enjoy the rock candy. Rika-chan isn't an exception. Whenever kids from our neighborhood come to our house for errands, Grandma always gives them some treats. Actually, that's a pretty common rule here in Hinamizawa. So sometimes siblings fight over who is going to take the circular to the neighbor. These bags of rock candy are such treats. Of course, she doesn't normally give out this much. Usually it's just a piece of candy. Grandma's being extra nice to Rika-chan. I feel bad getting all this candy. Don't worry. Grandma loves you. You should just thank her and put a big smile on your face, that's all. Do you get lots of treats? I used to. But at my age, I don't get any. If I did, though, I would probably feel like I was being treated like a child. Me. I'm being treated like a child, then. That's okay. Enjoy it while you can. When you become as old as I am, you won't get any even if you want to get some. As we talk about some usual stuff, I notice Rika-chan is starting to show some sadness. What's wrong? She's like 1,000,000 years old. When I run some errands, I get candy as a treat. But Satoko doesn't get any if she goes with me. I can think of so many reasons why. Not only Satoko, but everyone in the Hojo family is being treated poorly in Hinamizawa. And the Sonozaki family is the one who instigated that. The 2 dam supporters have died in an accident already. But the malice against the Hojo family is still going. It's directed against Satoko and Satoshi, their children, and aunt and uncle who are taking care of them. Big fight between the Hojo family and the Sonozaki family at the explanatory meeting started all this. That was Mr. and Mrs. Hojo, so that shouldn't have anything to do with the children and the aunt and uncle. But the idea of the Hojo family or the village traders evolved on its own. Therefore, anyone bearing the Hojo name is to be treated poorly. The aunt and uncle weren't dam supporters, so over time the attacks went towards the aunt and uncle. Of course, the aunt and uncle should have stopped. But they are rather odd and they keep having trouble with their neighbors. They don't follow community rules and they don't do their community duties, and they spray pesticides while their neighbor's laundry is still hanging outside. They often get into fights with their neighbors. Even without the dam, they are hated by others. Therefore, the Hojo family continues to be treated poorly. But none of that should have anything to do with Satoko and Satoshi. Satoko and Satoshi are depressed often at school. I try to leave the conflict between the two families aside at school, but I wonder how they really feel about that. From their point of view, it's just another member of the Sonozaki family that keeps harassing them. I don't want any of that to happen at school. That's why I try to act normally as their friend. How can we spread that outside of the school? That's very difficult. The Hojo family made enemies of the three families. They were branded as traitors of the village, and that fact is still being acknowledged. It doesn't mean anything if one person suggests an end to the hostilities because the events around the dam are history now. On the contrary, that would just put them in the same position. Unfortunately for Satoko and Satoshi, the only thing they can do is wait patiently until the issue weathers away. What I can do for them is provide an oasis they can use until the day comes. How long do they have to wait? I don't know. The dam conflict lasted for several years. They were branded back then. It might take as long as several years. You mean they won't be forgiven until they become adults? Does Satoko have to live her childhood going through that? That is miserable, isn't it? Me. We're friends, aren't we? Or we are their friends, are we? Wait. We are their friends, are we? Aren't we? Sure, they are my friends. They are my buddies. Then isn't there something we can do to help our friends? What exactly can we do? Even if the Sonozaki family declares the dam conflict over so the Hojo family are no longer outcasts, we can't solve the problem. It's not that simple. In the first place, Grandpa hates the Hojo family, and she won't suffer their name to be mentioned in her presence. It's not a matter of someone forgiving another. It's a matter of these very complicated ties between the people in this village. It is absolutely scary to have them as your enemies. Everyone knows that very well, and that's why they try to maintain good relationships with their neighbors. However, if you make enemies out of them, you'll have to face the consequences. That is the unwritten law of the Japanese community. And the Sonozaki family is part of this unwritten law. Now that the Hojo family are outcasts, not even the Sonozaki family can overturn the situation. So even if it's an issue of Hinamizawa, we can't do anything about it as Hinamizawa residents? Unfortunately, that may be true. If there's someone who can help Satoko, that person must be someone who has nothing to do with the village. But there's no one like that there, or here. Are you saying someone from outside the village has to come and help her? Like Rika-chan says, would a knight in shining armor from the outside world ever come here? Would that person bring in a new wind into this village that has been filled with stale air for hundreds of years? No way. It's just wishful thinking. Time will solve the problem someday. Until that day comes, I have to be their ally. I can't think of anything else I can do for them. As Rika-chan and I crunch down our rock candy, we can only pray that some people will forgive Satoko and her family soon. Rika-chan breaks the heavy silence gently. I know. I know someone who has absolutely nothing to do with the village will come from the outside. That's right. The dam conflict is over, so it'd be great if more people moved to these lots for sale. Wouldn't it be fun if a family with a kid our age moved in? He will come. I know. And we'll break the evil practice with him. That'll be the first key in one of 3 locks that trap us in the past. Huh? What is it? Are you talking about a novel or something? Rika-chan says some odd things sometimes. When she talks that way, she seems so mature. I doubt she's really younger than I am. The unreasonable antagonism works towards the Hojo family. Will there really be someone from the outside who has nothing to do with the village who will shatter our old ways? I guess. We want to call him a knight in shining armor. Interesting. This new thing makes me like, I don't know. The way it starts up is like shh. It starts up like static. Okay, I'll get going. Thank you. Don't mention it. Come back anytime, okay? Hi, I'm home. Hey, Uncle Hiroshi. Long time no see. Hey, Mian-chan. Are you going home? I have to give my clients a ride. A ride? You talking about your realtor business, huh? Sonozaki family is one of the largest landowners here in the Hinamizawa area. However, since they are all the way out here in the countryside, all the lots are just sitting there. Recently, the land owned by the Sonozaki family was put in sale in lots. Some relatives opposed the idea in the family meeting, saying we shouldn't sell off land that was handed down from our ancestors. But Grandma snapped and shut them up. Some of the unused fields were reformed into vacant lots and released for public sale. Actually, I had some questions too. Because the Sonozaki family is wealthy, we have plenty of land as well as money. Why do we have to sell our land? What's more surprising is that Grandma was the one to come up with the idea. I thought she would get furious if someone mentioned something like that. Okay, well, if you're ever near the station, be sure to just stop by. I'll treat you to a cup of barley tea. Sure, thank you very much. So how's your business going? Surprised there are actually a big city people who are interested. I guess they are what? Is that a word that I know that just looks weird to read? Nui. Nouveu. What? That, oh my god, what? Nouvelle Riche people. Who live in a big city, yet also want a big house in the countryside. That is so weird to look at. Looks like French. But it's clearly English. Because it's in an English sentence. Well, I guess there's some people that are curious. There's actually someone who wants to move here. He said he wants to build an art studio, so he must be an artist of some sort. That's great. Oh, gosh. I better go now. Supposedly, he planned a tour to show them the lots, and he's the one driving the bus. Guess it's about time for their tour to end. He lives in a hurry. Hey, can I ask you something? Why did you sell the land? You don't like newcomers. I don't like newcomers, and I don't like big city people either. But village needs them. It's like refreshing the air. Is it good for the village to have new people move in? This is a wonderful village, but the world is changing quickly. Small change took 10 or even 20 years to happen in the past. It was such a quiet and unchanging village. Well, that's rural life. In this village, nothing is different from yesterday and today. It's too boring for me, though. But you made a friend, right? Ryugu Rena-chan moved here and became your friend. You told me you were happy to have a friend who was your age. Yeah, making friends is unexpectedly fun. I remember you saying that school is boring when Rena-chan is absent. Do you remember that? Are you saying that's the good thing about letting new people come? No matter how cold it is, you still have to ventilate. Otherwise, the room will be filled with bad air and you'll suffocate. You open the window knowing the freezing cold air will come in. Letting outside people come is like ventilating the village? Sure. Letting fresh air in and getting rid of bad air like us. If I bring up the Hojo family, I know Grandma will explode, so I don't. But I think what Grandma's trying to say includes things like ongoing isolation of the Hojo family. Even now, she remembers about what happened at the explanatory meeting. When she remembers what happened at the explanatory meeting, she gets pissed. But I guess that even she feels that needs to come to an end. But of course, she can't just say she'll forgive them when she's at this stubborn age. She can't lose face by openly saying she'll forgive them. I think she's behaving like a little schoolgirl who actually likes a person, but when she's face to face with her, she treats her poorly. Maybe a person returns to being a child once they're old enough. I'm not just talking about Grandma. Maybe the same can be said about all the elderly people in the village. Maybe I should say the evil in this village. I think that's what Grandma meant by bad air. There's no use circulating air in a closed room. Unless you open the windows and let fresh air in, the air in the room won't be purified. We don't know if there's actually people moving here, but don't you think you expect too much from whomever moves here? Just run a moving here changed you me on. Whoever moves here will change the village. If it's possible, I hope some young and energetic people who have charisma to lead the village will come. They need to be the ones to put us old people away into heaven. What are you talking about, Grandpa? Is that what that line said? Are you talking about Grandpa? I was like, wait, what? Damn you, nobody's talking about him. Have the housekeeper put away the tea set in the veranda. Okay, I will. Neon. Huh? The day Hojo Satoshi disappeared. You came to me, huh? Yeah, I guess I did. That is what woke me up. This problem with the Hojo family, we can't just let time take care of it. We have to take care of it ourselves as soon as possible. You can't do it yourself, so you're gonna have an outsider take care of it? It's the best I can do. No matter how bad your hand is, the next card may change the flow of the game. So maybe it's a good idea to draw cards from the stack. Your generation will become the new wind. Let a wind come from the outside. And you'll be the wind from the inside. With both winds, create a gale. Blow away the stale air from the village. Salvation by others, huh? You're the one who started the fire and you're trying to have your grandchild take care of it? I don't say that. As new leader of the Sonozaki family, bring the new wind into the village. You say that's my job as the next leader. Please, Mion. I'm too old. The only thing I can now is to be despised by others. The wind chime sounds quietly. That must be a sign to let us know a cool breeze is on the way. Interesting. We're making good time, though. There's a mention of Satoshi dying. Or, I guess, it's my assumption that he dies. There's no way he's just out there, right? Okay. So, we have a new crack thing. We'll just click on that since we're here. A group of boys is playing baseball under the powerful sun. The sound of cicadas makes the heat stand out even more, but it is just another sound of the cheering to those boys. Of course, they will go through basic training as well as exercises to build stamina. Trauma? Why is that in my head? But the boys actually don't like such routine activities. What they look forward to is the free game after the practice. This school in Hinamizawa is actually borrowed from the Forest Service office. The school ground is actually made of gravel, so it's not very appropriate for playing sports. Compared to that, this Okinomiya school ground is properly maintained for athletic activities, so the kids get energetic even more when they come here. Though the kids from Hinamizawa really don't care if the ground is made of gravel. The other instructor's watching them game, so I decided to get some drinks for the kids. Manager, what are you doing? I thought I'd go get some drinks for someone, or for everyone. You mind helping me, Satoshi-kun? No, not at all. Satoshi-kun comes with me. Sometimes kids don't like what grown-ups choose, so I'm glad he agreed to help me. Satoshi-kun and I get in a car and head to the grocery store nearby. Manager, how is Satoko doing? Oh, she's doing well. Although it's an extremely slow process, her emotional wound is healing. I think we should let her rest for a little longer. It's natural for Satoshi-kun to be worried. Satoko-chan has been in the hospital for over 2 weeks. Of course, he doesn't know that his sister has the Hinamizawa syndrome. Not only that, she is almost at the L5 stage. She can become deranged at any moment. He believes she's feeling down because of the shock from her parents' accident. He came to the clinic every day to cheer his sister up, but Satoko-chan has become more emotionally unstable and shown some dangerous signs, so we called off the visits. In fact, Satoko-chan is not doing so well. L5, the stage Satoko-chan is at, is an abnormal stage. The man last year who had the same condition, or in the same stage as her, was in such an abnormal condition that even a terminal narcotic patient would be scared of him. There's no guarantee Satoko-chan won't fall into that condition. When we dissected him last year, we learned the true identity of the Hinamizawa syndrome and also its mechanism. We even discovered some important facts that may lead to a development of a cure. However, we still don't have a method of curing the disease. So if Satoko-chan ever becomes unrecoverable, we may have to dissect her like the man from last year. How can I tell Satoshi-kun about his sister's situation? All I can do is make things vague and lie to him that she is recovering. What if something happens to her? Then that would make me an unforgivable liar. The tiny bit of conscience that's still in me hurts. It's okay with your clinic. Can she stay there a little longer? Why are you saying that? I thought he wanted her to come home as soon as possible, so I'm a little surprised. Well, actually, Satoko doesn't get along with our aunt. I heard she didn't get along with her parents, but she can't get along with your aunt and uncle either? Satoko doesn't open up to grown-ups. Satoshi-kun has told me about Satoko-chan's background. The constant remarriage of his mother has deeply wounded the children emotionally. Satoshi-kun was able to overcome it, but Satoko-chan was too young to be able to do that. That traumatized her, and now she has a tendency not to trust or dislike guardians who aren't related to her by blood. Actually, nobody would like a guardian who isn't related to him by blood. It's not just Satoko-chan. But usually people try to control themselves even if they don't like it. I guess Satoko-chan just can't do that. Our uncle isn't home much. Besides, even when he is, he's either sleeping or watching TV, so he's not the problem. But our aunt gets on Satoko's nerves a lot. Why doesn't she like her? I have an idea. Satoko-chan's parents were pro-dam people, and because of that, people considered them as part of the Hyojo family and pushed them as well. Moreover, they passed away suddenly in an accident and left 2 children behind, so I guess there can only be hate but no gratitude. But if she had been obedient like Satoshi-kun, everything would have been fine. But Satoko-chan can't be that way. She shows up in her attitude and expressions and ends up having a big fight. I told my aunt about Satoko's situation, but she just can't understand. I think you're being a great big brother, Satoshi-kun. You're probably the one and only relative Satoko-chan has now. It's true, I think so. Satoshi-kun sighs. He doesn't really say it, but it seems Satoshi-kun is actually getting tired of having to cover for his Satoko-chan every time her and her aunt fight. He's a good person as well as a good big brother, so I'm sure he'll do anything to cover for his sister. But that is such an exhausting thing to do. Satoshi-kun was already doing that when her parents were alive. And one day, his emotional imbalance couldn't take it anymore and he came to my clinic. At first I thought he improved because his parents, the main source of the problem, had passed away, but I guess things are worse than before. I understand. I can't release Satoko-chan if things are like that. Her symptoms may come back again. Don't worry about the hospital fees. I'm sure Satoko-chan truly recovers. I'll make sure Satoko-chan truly recovers. While trying to pretend I'm listening to his wish, I feel a little disgusted at myself for making such selfish excuses. I'll make sure. The Kana-san is working on her dissection plan as we speak. That's possible. That'll help me too. What? I mean, if Satoko stays in the clinic a little while longer, then I can relax too. That's all. What do you mean? When Satoko comes back, I'm sure she'll get into a fight with her aunt. Then the every day will be filled with fights and yelling again, and I'll be dragged into it too. Satoko staying in the hospital for a very long time is the most relaxing to me, I think. I hate myself for thinking that. Satoshi-kun. Satoshi-kun is a great big brother who would cover for his sister, but that doesn't mean he doesn't feel burdened. To think things like that, what a terrible big brother I am. The more I think about it, the more I hate myself. As he says so, Satoshi-kun sniffles once. His expression is one of anguish as he feels his own sin. His desire to be a model big brother corners him more and more. I feel bad for Satoko-chan, but I also feel bad for Satoshi-kun in a different way. As someone who knows both of them well, I feel I must be their ally since they don't have anyone who cares about them. Ooh, we're at 37. We could probably run through one more, right? One more square. I'm curious because it sounds like they're maybe getting close to Satoshi. What is this? Oh, that's the part-time job. Yeah, it seems like we're getting pretty close to Satoshi disappearing, which I am down for because we don't actually know what happens. The harsh and brutal days are still continuing endlessly for me. The situation between my aunt and Satoko is the same. My aunt yells at Satoko for no reason every night. Although Satoko cries, she still talks back to her. So my aunt's yelling goes on and on forever. Satoko's crying goes on and on too. When Satoko sees me, she grabs onto me. She hides behind my back and tries to ignore my aunt's yelling. She always comes to seek my help. Satoko doesn't open up to anyone but me. So if I don't protect her, she would be devastated. There's something our parents didn't provide Satoko, and I have to be the one to provide it. But every day, day after day, every time Satoko cries, every day, day after day, Satoko grabbed onto me while crying yesterday. I patted her head, along with pity, a different emotion came to me. I wanted to grasp her head and smash it against the wall. Unbelievably devilish and awful emotion. No. Can't think that. Not that I can't think it, I just can't notice that feeling. Since that day, there's been someone else inside of me. That someone is trying to eat me up from the inside and switch places with me. When Satoko begs for my help while crying, that person tries to make me spill out some awful and hateful words that are sure to damage Satoko forever. Leave me alone. Don't grab onto me. Go away. No, I can't. I try my hardest so that person won't take me over. And I put pressure on my abdomen to chase him out. And I was successful. But that wasn't it. That person is coming after me, trying to get back inside of me. I won't let such a scary thing get back inside of me. He won't be able to as long as I'm tense. So he stops trying. And instead he follows right behind me. He's waiting for me to let my guard down. When I walk, he walks right behind me. He's breathing down my neck. He follows me everywhere, and when I lie down, he stares at me. He's waiting for the right moment to get back inside of me, to hurt Satoko. It's been so hot lately. Maybe the heat is affecting me, and that's why I think things like this. I'm the only family Satoko has. I have to protect her from my aunt for the rest of my life. That's my eternal duty. The rest of my life. Forever. Do I really have to do that forever? Only Satoko. But I'm her only family. But because of my aunt. But it's because of the villagers too. It's almost Watanagashi. The irresponsible villagers are saying the curse will once again fall upon Hinamizawa. They'll also say it'll fall upon me and Satoko for sure. Maybe it's just me, but I can almost feel everyone's expectation. I feel like I'll be killed on the day of Watanagashi. Of course, there is no reason why I would be killed, and it's just my imagination. Slap, slap, slap. Don't come inside me. Satoko is my only sister and family, so don't tell me those awful things. Slap, slap, slap. Stop, stop. Don't come this way. Don't come this way. The footsteps came right behind me and touches my shoulder. Wow. Rena. Are you okay? Are you? I must have been acting weird. Rena looks worried. Her name is Ryugu Rena. She just moved here and transferred to my school. Nobody remembers, but supposedly she lived here in Hinamizawa a long time ago. In fact, she hardly remembers anything about Hinamizawa either. Since Mion is the only classmate who is my age, I'm glad she's my friend. She is usually having fun with Mion, but once in a while she shows her feminine side too. Are you feeling okay? Do you want me to take you to the nurse's office? Do you? Thank you. I'm okay. Do I look sick or something? Yeah. Her immediate answer makes me realize I wasn't myself. Is it about Satoko-chan? Are you worried? No, that isn't it. She knows my problem isn't physical, but stress. This is something I think to myself, but even though Rena seems like a very easygoing type, maybe she is very sharp. Since I just transferred here recently, I may not be able to help you much, but I can at least listen to you. Sometimes talking about it helps. Although she just transferred, she already knows quite a bit about me and my younger sister. Or my sister, I don't know why that. And also the situation with the villagers. But talking about it won't solve anything. Actually, if I talk about it, I feel like I'd be admitting to my weakness, which may give that person a chance to get inside of me again. You were surprised earlier, remember? That's why I thought something really serious was bothering you. Oh. That. Lately I feel like someone is following me all the time. Slap, slap, slap. I thought that was you. Sorry. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Footsteps? Following you? Huh? I know those footsteps. Oh, dude, that's like a crazy way. That's a crazy way to end that shit. He's like, I know. Been there. That's insane. That must have been a crazy moment. I say that must have been a crazy moment like that actually happened in real life, but it didn't because it's a fictional story. But that would have been crazy. in real life. Okay, so I mean, we've cracked most of these. We went through 4, I think, you know, maybe 2 more episodes, and then we're out. Because that's that next, and then after page 5, we just go into these, and these are pretty much like the end. So we're almost there. Mibara Keiichi needs to change schools, so we still got a little bit of ways to go, but we have like maybe 5-6 squares. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging out. Next episode coming soon. I'm gonna record a bunch of them, like I said, so be on the lookout for that, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace out, you guys.
I don't understand what's going on here.